Zeal Education Society, redefining excellence.
Hello all, we are first year IT respected division students from Zeal College of Engineering, Pune, Maharashtra. Under project based learning, we Asmita Kale, Avishkar Karche, Shivani Gadve and Akhilesh Lal have completed our project on dice game under the guidance of Professor Anuja Garande. In rounds, we have assigned a value 1. And in the next part, we are using while loop in which we have given condition that rounds is not equal to 6. Now, in this while loop, first we are going to print the round in which the two players are. Later, we have taken the two variables, namely player 1 and player 2, to which we have assigned a function called as a dice roll. Now, this dice roll function we have defined in the later part of the code, in which we have used a randint function which returns a random number between the given range. Now, as we know in the dice, we have range between 1 to 6. So here we have given the range between 1 to 6. Now later we are going to print that random number which we have got as an output for player 1 and player 2. Now, using the if statement, we have given three conditions. The first condition says that if the value assigned to the player 1 comes equal to value assigned to the player 2, the result will be considered as a draw. Or if the value assigned to the player 1 comes greater than the value assigned to the player 2, then the player 1 is considered as the winner for that particular round. Or else, if the value assigned to the player 2 comes greater than the value assigned to the player 1, the player 2 is considered as the winner. Now, we are incrementing the value of rounds using rounds equal to rounds plus 1. And later, all this loop will continue until the rounds value reaches equal to 6. Now, coming out of this while loop, we have given three more conditions using if statement. The first statement says that if the player 1 wins equal to player 2 wins. Now this player 1 wins and player 2 wins are the two variables which we had assigned earlier. Now this player 1 wins keeps the track record of how many rounds did the player 1 won. And similarly, this player 2 wins keeps the record of how many rounds did the player 2 won. Now if the player 1 wins equals to player 2 wins, that is the round won by the player 1 and player 2 are equal, then the end result will be draw. Or if the player 1 wins is greater than player 2 wins, that is the rounds won by the player 1 is greater than player 2, then the end result will be that the player 1 has won. Or else if the player 2 wins is greater than the player 1 wins, that is the rounds won by the player 2 is greater than the rounds won by the player 1, then the player 2 is considered as the winner. Now next, we have defined a function called dice roll, which we have used in the earlier part of the code. Later, we have called this whole function. Now, this is the output which we have got for our code. Now, in the round 1, here the player 2 has got number 6 and player 1 has got number 3, through which we can say that the player 2 has won the round 1. Now, similarly in round 2, the player 1 has got the number 6 and the player 2 has got the number 1, that is, the player 1 has won the round 2. Similarly, in round 3, player 1 has got the number 2 and player 2 has got the number 5, therefore player 2 has won the round. Now similarly, round 4, player 1 has got the number as 3 and player 2 has got the number 2, therefore the player 1 is considered as the winner for that round. Now in round 5, player 1 has got the number 2 and player 2 has got the number 3, therefore the player 2 is considered as the winner. Now as we can see, the number of rounds won by the player 2 is greater than the number of rounds won by the player 1, therefore the end result is the player 2 is considered as the winner which has won 3 rounds.